Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be with y'all today. Good to see you, Bad Roxy. Good to see you, Gail. Good to see you, Inca. Good to see you, Bubble. Good to see you, Sunglass. Good to see you, Brayherd. Good to see you, Inca. Good to see you, Beer Fox. Good to see you, Mesozoic Mind. Good to see you, Kit. Hope everyone is doing well. And Roxy, congratulations. You have won the crown of Fursendom. This is not quite a streak, considering you lost on Thursday, but this is still quite good. You get a Pokemon trading booster. I hear those probably go for like a lot of money or somewhere. It'll be in the mail. Give it 4 to 6 business weeks. But it's good to see you all. Good to see you, especially Sunglasses and Mesozoic Mind. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Trekkie. Oh, here's the ad break. I thought the ad break had already happened. Hey, Chizo. Good to see you. I see Inca is helping teach us the Let Us Play counting method. First, second, seventh, fjord, fife, sax, 1167. Sharks investigated Pokemon card investments? Probably not. She's probably saner than that. But the fife, seeing fife, reminded me of a Victor Borga bit. Victor Borga was a stand-up comedian, and he had a bit about inflation. And when inflation goes up, our the prices of things go up. But he said that we needed to have language that helped reflect that. And so you might have something wherein it has a number in the name, and you have to increase it. So instead of, I ate my tenderloin with a fork. Now all of a sudden, it's I nined my Levenderloin with a fife. Fenordnianth, A-Step 0. Hey, Craig, good to see you. Yeah, we're learning to count. We're doing it poorly. But you know what? We're going to need that counting because we're going to be playing Pokemon TCG. This game requires a lot of counting because it's all math. That's the big secret. It's all math. Candy Spin. I recommend waiting on that because I have a potential special guest coming in and joining us later today. So, but first, a Candy Spin. Oh, Trekkie already redeemed it. Okay. Will 6-7 go away? All things go away in time. Come on. No. Interact. This is much easier in the game mode, I must say. The guest does not have to... Oh, no. Thank you, Trekkie. Hey, Kevin. I keep them in containment. Hey, love. Lucas Swinkles Chunks. They look like dog treats. Hey, Mel. Just saying. No, I am sadly not almost out of Swinkle Chunks. Stupid piece of hair. Oh, those are stale, though. Mmm. This has many consistencies. It tastes like it, so it's a little spicy, a little fruity, but like the fruit, it tastes like a fruit roll up that you've like condensed. Chocolate covered marshmallow mushrooms. I don't eat mushrooms, you know that. They're spicy bites. That is the flavor. Spicy bites. Anyway, let's go play some Pokemon while I cry. Kevin the Reader has redeemed a father joke. You know, I really love geology. It rocks. I think it should be the bedrock of more of what we do. I knew a guy, his wife was really into geology. Shale'll never leave him. There's another Kevin? There is another Kevin. Kevin the Reader. He is not a space penguin. Her name was Roxy. Anyway, so this is Pokemon TCG for the original Game Boy Color. We're gonna have to, in classic Pokemon fashion, we're gonna have to delete our previous save. Oh, are you sure, Mrs. Oakmine? Have you never heard any archaeology puns in your life? Save data already exists. If you continue, you will lose all the cards you collected. Yes, that's what save states are for. Frevin! Frevin is crazy about Pokemon and Pokemon card collecting. Mango-flavored gummy base with a tamarind paste and coated in chili powder. It sounds delicious. It does not look delicious, nor is it delicious. Learn some Gniss puns. One day, Frevin heard a rumor. The legendary Pokemon cards, the extremely rare and powerful cards held by the Pokemon trading card game's greatest players. Which seems really unbalanced. Are searching for the one to inherit the legend. Dreaming of inheriting the legendary Pokemon cards, Frevin visits the Pokemon cards researcher, Dr. Mason. Gotta leave the Pokemon Dome, go to the Mason Laboratory. Oh, why the rush, Frevin? What? You want to learn how to play the Pokemon trading card. Wait, hold on. I love Pokemon, and I love collecting Pokemon cards, but I don't know how to play. It's pronounced nice. Gnice. So you two finally want to start playing the card game. Well, dueling is more fun than just collecting cards. First, you should be playing with a practice deck. Here, I'll give you this deck. And now you need an opponent. Hey, Sam, play with him for a while. Yes, Dr. Mason. Hello, Frevin. Okay, let's give this a try. Hey, Frevin, hurry and come here. Yeah, I don't know what the modern rules are. These are the classic rules. First, ask Sam the basics of the game. Okay, Frevin, what do you want to know about? I actually know how to play, so we're gonna skip this for television's sake. Is that all? Yes. Well, let's say that actions speak louder than words, so let's play a game! Since this is your first time, just try to learn the basic steps. I'll be coaching you, so follow my advice. If you don't do as I say, we won't be able to proceed. It might be easier if you read the Pokemon trading card game instruction booklet while we play. Okay then, let's start up your practice game. Tech Sam. Sam's practice deck. Since this is just practice, do not shuffle the deck. Each player will draw 7 cards. Current meta is dominated by Budu card. That sounds about right. Well, now you can play this on NSO. Why am I making Dr. Mason sound like Colin? Because I can. Yes, choose a basic. Now I have to pick the basic he has in mind. For a practice tool, choose Goldeen. Yeah, it's on NSO. It's on the Game Boy, which I think is the part of the basic package of NSO stuff. Goldeen was placed in player area. Put your Pokemon on your bench. We must do all the basic math question. 11d70. Not this week. Oh no! Oh no! That's rough, especially in this weather. Fry 8 bacon strips at a time. How long before your husband finishes them all? I guess that depends on how many you're frying at once. I guess you're frying them all at one time, and where you leave them to dry, and how much. This is less a math question, more a marriage question. I recommend a wooden spoon as defense. What? To attack, I need energy. Yeah, if you don't do a turn exactly as he describes, like even things that can be done in different orders, he gets mad at you and you have to redo the turn. Woodward class. Currently showing this to your religion class. Well, hello, religion class. I'm Father Evan. Welcome. We're playing some old school Pokemon TCG here today. Rotida. That is readings of the day. Happy feast, well, not feast day, memorial of Timothy and Titus, bishops. They are the men that St. Paul left behind to tend to a community. And there's a great thing in that we celebrate the conversion of St. Paul yesterday and Timothy and Titus today, because it reminds us that Paul could not do his mission of spreading the gospel by himself. He needed people to work with. And so, you know, we trust the way that we work to empower and to build up people, and to entrust the care of the gospel to them, and also that others have been entrusted to that role over us, and that it continues. And here we are, 2,000 years later, and the fruit of Paul's work continues in the work of the church today, precisely because of that way that we are able to pass things along generationally and care for each other intergenerationally. And we have a father joke. Well, this is a great one for the kids. What do you call a lesson about turtles? A tutorial. Anyway, what does Dr. Mason want me to do here? Oh, he wants me to evolve it. And a psychic energy. But I have water energy. Why don't I just apply another water energy to it? I think that's all I can do. You know, I know there's a lot of controversy around Pokemon way back in the day. That's not so prevalent now. Meep Bass, he got Invisalign Meep. But I love that when St. John Paul II was asked about it, he was like, this seems like a great thing. It's teaching children the importance of, like, companionship and working together and friendly competition. So, Shout out to St. John Paul II. Also, shout out to Carlo Acutis, who probably played this game. Seeking enough energy, so you don't need to attach more. Attach energy cards to your bench Pokemon to get them ready for battle. Attach a water energy to your Staryu. Okay. Select the attack command. Machop has 10 HP left. Seeking's Horn attack will be enough to knock out Machop. Getting energy flooded. Yeah, in the tutorial. When you knock out the defending Pokemon, you can pick up a prize. Now let's play the game. Now chat, which Pokemon deck should I go with? Because he presents you with like 3. Pick the best one. Oh, okay, 5-head. Hey, Otto. Normal type. Don't think that's an option. Abnormal type? I think that's most of them. Your Pokemon are knocked down, there's no Pokemon on your bench, you lose the game, yeah? Put Drowsy, the basic Pokemon. You know, Drowsy, that basic Pokemon. Is it spells? Yes, it is spells. No, this is Pokemon. Oh no, my Seeking. Man, the music is a bop, which is good because we're going to be listening to a lot of it. True Staryu was the active Pokemon. Okay. You laugh, Beer Fox, but Gale has a deck that is oops all spells. It evolves into Starmie. Well, yeah, it has lands, but it has no creatures. Wow, I drew a thing. Why do I have to use the potion? I can just win. It's that time of year where you're researching cycling apparel and my need for a new bike is increasing. Uh-oh. You have a bike and it's working perfectly normal. And +1 bikes. I was not paying attention. I think I'm supposed to do a potion. I blame chat. This is practice mode, so please follow my guidance. No! I don't need to attach the energy if I'm going to just win. Oh, I guess I'm not going to win. I guess he swapped out his Pokemon. Well, that was pretty convenient to draw a Starmie card. It's almost like this tutorial was set up in a way to be played out in an exact series of events. Sus. A preceding deck give you a tutorial? No way! I know, it's wild. Heart of cards. Yeah, that's apt, Mel. I must say, this game is really interesting from like a design standpoint because of the way it really does seamlessly take the Pokemon formula when I think only Red, Blue, and Gold, Silver had come out when this one was developed. Maybe even just Red, Blue. I just like how well it managed to distill it with a completely different battle system. Basically, this game is how the Pokemon trading card is played. It's a game in which you try to knock out as many of your opponent's Pokemons as there are prizes. That's the gist of it. If you don't understand something, talk to Sam. He might be helpful to practice again. This time, it was just practice. So I had you follow everything I said, but there are still other styles of play. So, try them out by choosing a normal duel. Okay, do I get a deck? Now then, let's build your deck. Did you bring your cards? Let me add some of my own cards to yours. Now, from what kind of deck do you want? Please select the deck you want. Charmander and friends, Squirtle and friends, Bulbasaur and friends. Oh man, now here is a spicy question for chat. Which starter do you go with? Poll coming up. You wish you knew who her friends were? Yeah, so do I. Because trust me, they're surprising. I have played this. Oh, that's a Swinkle chunk on the floor. Okay, we have a poll in chat. Who do we start with? Now, you might be tempted to say Charmander, because then you can get Charizard. You do not start with the Charizard. Gale, did you allow democracy in this? No democracy. Wow, I'm surprised. You don't start with a final evolution? No! That's what booster packs are for. Gotta sell them boosties? Yeah, except you just get booster packs whenever you defeat someone in this game. Like, literally, you can play someone over and over again, and each time they'll just be like, have more booster packs, have more booster packs, have more booster packs. So the economy's a little messed up. Made the poll a bit longer. Well, it looks like Bulbasaur and Friends is the leading one, so we're gonna go with that. And a little Monster's called for a father joke. Hey, good to see you, little Monster. Hope you're doing well. Bulbasaur and Friends? Yep, Bulbasaur and Friends. Here are the remaining cards. Revan received 30 cards. So with many different people. Why don't you go to one of the card clubs? There are many people playing at the clubs. Collect new cards and try building a new deck. So here's the father joke for Lil Munster. I hear that a sore mummy had to go to the chiropractor. So let's check out this deck. Hey, we did actually get a Venusaur. That's actually surprising, because I don't think I got a Blastoise when I did the Squirtle one. Okay, so Bulbasaur, 20, Leech Seed, Ivysaur, Vine Whip, and Poison Powder. Let's see, we have Caterpies and Metapods, Nidorans, male and female, Nidorino. Okay, so we have Nidorans, both male and female, but we don't have Nidorina. We only have Nidorino. That's weird. No. One flare. Why do we have a flare? What is going on with this deck? We have 3 different energy types. And why are we not running our Bill? Bill's like the best card. No, I'm gonna run Bill. I'm gonna cut Flareon. So we don't need to worry about fire energy. Do energy types come with different chargers? Yeah, you know, Electro type is like Type C, Grass types, USB A. You know, they really haven't updated. What is weak to grass in original? Rock or water? Water's weak to electric, I guess. Well, I mean, maybe in original, but or like in Pokemon, but TCG's got its own rules. Okay, the Rockmail wasn't in charge of that. If I keep this up, I should be able to get the legendary Pokemon cards. What? It's you, Freven. What are you doing? Huh? That's a deck. Are you trying to get the legendary Pokemon cards? Yes. What? I can't believe it. You, the legendary Pokemon cards? Don't make me laugh. Too late. You already did. All right, listen up. I'll teach you what it's about. To inherit the legendary Pokemon cards, you must defeat the 8 Club Masters and get the 8 medals. Then you have to go to the Pokemon Dome and defeat all 4 of the Grand Masters there. There's no way you can do it. You might as well just give up and go home, because the legendary Pokemon cards are gonna be mine. I already won the first battle, see? See ya, Fremen. Oh, excuse me, did you hear? Ishihara, who lives in the Cape to the northwest. He owns 10,000 cards. He probably even has rare cards. If he owns 10,000 cards, I would hope he owns at least a few rares. Gee, I lost. Matthew's really good. He'll probably inherit the legendary Pokemon cards. Hi, I'm Matthew, a member of the Rock Club. I just finished a duel. I won, of course. The legendary cards will belong to me. How about it? Would you like to duel me? Yes. Yes, it's... Ishihara has 10,000 cards. 9,999 of them are energy. Is that right? Alright, let's begin. Bell Darkness, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Can't beat the smug out of him. Yeah, that's the hope, I guess. Triggered! Oh, hey, Hope. Oh boy, Tingla. We have to play it. I can choose up to 5 basic Pokemon. Oh boy, look at all the basic Pokemon I have. How close? We are at 598. Way to make it sit up straight. Alex started playing Taking Back Sunday. I don't see what the problem is. Okay. Well, they're not attacking on the first turn. Neither are we, but... Bill! I would recommend against that kit. It's bad for the algorithm. Where's my eyeliner? I think it just manifests, honestly. Okay, so let's start putting some energy on Bulbasaur. So we can just use Stun Spore for now. No, how could I lose a coin flip? Your emo dog does have thick black eyeliner. Tails. Yes, let's go! 0 damage. Okay, I need 2 there, so what I should do is I should put this water energy on Tangela. Because then we can build up our way towards Poison Whip. Aw, look at the little Caterpie. He's just a little guy. So, chat, how much snow did you get where you were? Did you get a lot of snow? We got about 9 inches here in the city. Zero inches. Well, you weren't in the storm's path, I guess. 1 inch of sleet. Well, that's a problem with where you live. Look, we found our Eevee. We can now evolve it into Vaporeon. About 8 or 9, yeah. Couple inches of sleet to finish off the storm. Ew. Yeah, we got a little bit of sleet at the end, but not too bad. But we did get, like, some really, like, small crystalline snow. Very crunchy. Ice. See, things you don't normally, see there. Attach that to Bulbasaur. Weekend high's about 50. I cry. Oh no! School's canceled until Wednesday. Wow. We just have today off from school. As if I'm in school. Another round of snow this weekend, too. We are going first. We'll evolve our EV to Vaporeon. Use a potion on Tangela. And we're going to Professor Oak. Between 8 inches and a foot. Oof. It is quite beautiful here. I do love New York under a fresh snow. It's quite beautiful. I was prepared to go out in the snow today, though, because I had an appointment. And then the person was like, we're just going to meet online instead. I was like, well, that makes sense, but I already had my snow boots on. I have nice big old leather boots for the snow. No! How could I lose a coin flip? The game's cheating specifically against me. You got a bunch of snow days off as Sundays? Nice. Yeah, preemptively, a lot of basically all the school districts here in the city were just like, yeah, no, we're just not even gonna bother. Snow day. We actually had to cancel one of our masses. We did our morning masses, but our 5 p.m. we basically got to a point and went, no, this isn't happening. Attendance was definitely light, though, over the weekend. I'd say we usually see 400, 500 people at our 10 a.m. mass. This weekend was like 100. How do we let parishioners know? Internet. So, you know, we have our constant contact system and for our newsletter and social media and whatnot. Saturday Vigil is standing room only. I believe it. Tails, tails, tails. Let's go. Oh, it's Mama Tigre's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Mama Tigre. I'm unbelievably lucky. I haven't won every single coin flip, so... I can't. Georgian's downtown. Mood is Saturday evening. There you go. Problem is, now we have to take down a Snorlax. Bill! Ew, frying up mushrooms. Ugh. A chunky Snorlax. As opposed to that svelte Snorlax. What is this Snorlax's attack? Ah. It's 4 energy. Well, next turn, goodbye, Vaporeon. "44-ish people. Oof. Yeah, our Spanish mass at 12:30 had like 20 people. Yes, 07 for Vaporeon. Did it do? Oh, hey, look, switch. What do I actually have? Vine Whip and Poison Powder. Well. Doesn't matter, we just need one attack to take out Snorlax and then we win. Blue cheese bacon burger. Got a mystery booster. I like that they hand you a booster and your first instinct is just open it right in front of them. Wow, we got an Articuno. That's actually pretty legit. Ooh, double colorless energy. That's good. Clefairy. Rhydon, Primate, Flareon, Fire Energy. Energy removal can actually be really useful. Pikachu, which... There's actually like a couple Pikachus in this one. I'm gonna win the next time we duel. No, you're not. I'm gonna be moving soon to a faraway place. Well, I'm not sad. I'll make friends dueling Pokemon cards. Well, our deck has won once, therefore it is perfect. Sorry, Andrew, I was paying attention to what you were saying. Let's fight. No, we did the conversion of St. Paul. It's the patronal feast day of the parish. And of the community, so... Okay, so we have a female Nidorino, and that's it. This could go poorly. Never punished. Oh, it's a male Nidoran. I was wrong. Bill. Never punished. What? He just played Greed. I thought that card was banned. Wow. Can't believe he cheated like that. Winning a coin flip. How dare this computer? What does this Nidoran actually do? Okay, so I'm gonna need grass energy for it. So I'm gonna put water energy on the EV. Oh, right. Fail. No! Chat these coin flips. What is my retreat cost? Considering it's my only grass energy on the field right now, I don't want to retreat it. Ow. Haha, you fool, you let me attack. How dare I think that full heal would heal my Pokemon of its wounds? We win! Because he has no other Pokemon on his bench. Oh, I lost! A rockin' guy like me can't lose. Well, you just did. Duck Trio, plus power, Dugong. Actually, that could go in our deck, as could Nidorino. That Rhydon was carrying? Nah, my Nidoran was really the MVP there. Hitmonchan, okay. Growlithe. Another Dugong, wow. Ooh, Professor Oak. Things like Bill and Professor Oak are really quite powerful in this game because it's basically all card advantage. Gotcha, rock harder. I'm gonna put a second Nidorino in there. I think, Tangela's actually good. I'm gonna leave Tangela in there. Although I might get rid of Metapod, because we don't have anything to evolve from Metapod. We only have one seal. So I don't want to add more Dugongs right now, I think. We'll add Articuno, though. I don't need Meowth. I don't need Jigglypuff either. Kangaskhan can actually be really useful. Did it save my changes? Or did I just screw it up? Okay, it did. Ah! No! I'm clicking too fast. Card draw. Well, card draw is powerful in any TCG, but like especially in Pokemon TCG Original, it's just like carving a statue of Pokemon out of this rock. What? You want a duel? No, I'm busy carving. You're going down, Ryan. Let's make a quick single match with 3 prizes. What? 3? That's what a weird. Oh, water fighting. What a weird mulligan rule. Ryan, please. How bad is your deck that 2 draw 7s have no basics? 3! Are we gonna soft lock the game here because he just has... Grass energy. Reminder, we are technically a grass deck. He did play a bunch of Pokemon, so he played Hitmonchan and Sandshrew. That Hitmonchan's gonna be a problem. Mysterious Fossil. It's like playing a Pokemon, but not. You can't do anything to it, but you can evolve onto it with things like Kabuto. Like that! With an Ammonite! I'm gonna play this because I have a feeling that this seal is about to be smacked. I'm gonna Professor Oak here. Yeah, I'm losing 2 grass energy, but I don't have anything else going on in my hand. I forgot. I was like, do I have a Krabby out, or do I have the fish, Goldeen? Turns out I had Goldeen. Why would you play your Sandshrew when... Maybe he's playing around the defender? Oh, I thought I had a Bulbasaur out there. There's my luck when it's with the coin flips. Let's go! Yeah, got 10 whole damage through. It's like 2 cards for the price of 1. Gonna remove some energy from Hitmonchan. When is surprise guest coming? When he feels like it. He may not show up. Ooh, DCE. Who would best benefit from double colorless energy? I guess I can make Vaporeon have quick attack if nothing else with it, but I feel like it's... I'm just gonna hold on to it for now. You want to see Father Dave experience VR? I would too, but he's a busy guy, and that makes it hard. Yes, potential special guest. One of my Paul's brothers is in town this weekend, and I invited him to stop on by if he wanted. No, they saw the line. Dingula. Come on, paralyzed. Yes! I have one brother, Rich Whitney. He's down in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's a great guy. We're really good friends. But he likes to joke that he's upset with me because I thought of this whole streaming thing as a ministry before he did. have so many politics. Yes. Well, we're pretty small, but, you know, if you talk about it in terms of family, it's pretty big. There's about 95 of us. Ooh, Nidoran. Oh, I think I see him. Hello. Hello, Dan. Hello, Father Dan. Come on in. Yeah. Here's Father Dan. He's hiding behind me. He's camera shy. You can come say hello. Gotta get close to the microphone.
Hello. How are we doing?
Chat.
Oh, look at that. Happy snowy Monday wherever you guys are coming from.
So what are you doing here?
What am I doing? I am here at the Mother House to preach the annual Hall of Appeal. It was a wonderful weekend except for the snow. The snow kind of dampened some of the attendance this past weekend. Just a little. But always good to be with my brothers on our feast day. The feast day of the parish and also the feast day of our religious community. So, wonderful being here. I'm stuck for one more day in New York City. And then I fly back to Chicago tomorrow, where I am the associate pastor of our church in the South Loop called Old St. Mary's. So if you're ever in Chicago, come say hi.
Stuck in New York, like it's some sort of penance for you. Dan did his doctorate. By the way, Dan is way too humble of a man. He has a doctorate in cancer biology research from Sloan Kettering. From Sloan Kettering. A hospital gave you a doctorate. Not a university, a hospital. And what did he do? He decided to become a priest, which is awesome, and we're happy to have him.
Always good.
Uh-oh. So there's a thing I do on this show. Have I told you about the candy I eat?
No.
Okay, so I eat bad candy. That's about it. They make me. So they can redeem this. Watch this. The wheel has spun, and it is saying... Ah, those are too normal. Those are too normal. Those are better than you think, actually. Oh. Well, we almost got the dreaded... We're not doing a pastille today. I'm sorry, wheel. We're not doing Sprinkle Chunks again. We already did Sprinkle Chunks. My goodness, this wheel is being obstinate today. Give us something interesting. Actually, the Sprinkle Chunks are interesting, but we already did them. Okay, that's an interesting one. Do you like sour candy? Two left in the bag. This is a Barnett's Mega Sour. It is the most sour candy I have ever had. You don't have to have one, but you are welcome to. The other option was to give you a musk stick.
This sounds better.
He wants this over a musk stick. If I can get the bag open. Come on. There we go. Now, these may not be the most sour because they've been exposed for a while, so you can't see as much of the powder, but... Zdrowia.
They're sour.
He says they're sour.
Woo! They're really sour. Okay.
Yeah, the absolute worst case is the pine cones.
Like eating a Yankee.
He's describing it as eating a Yankee Candle Company candle.
Yeah, no thank you. No thank you.
He's a smart one, chat. So yeah, this is what I do. Welcome to my little world.
I'm in the inner sanctum.
You are.
Alright, well, I gotta go grab my water.
You do that.
Good
Good to
seeing-
see you.
Good seeing everyone on the stream. Take care, God bless. And enjoy Pokemon. I think it's. Are we doing Pokemon?
Pokemon TCG, yeah.
Alright. Alright, old school.
Mm-hmm.
Old school. Okay. Ciao.
See you, Dan. Thanks for stopping by. Whew. Oh. There's more sourness in the center of the candy, by the way. Just to be warned. I had to warn him that there's a second layer of sour in the middle of this candy. Okay, what was I doing? Right. We're gonna lose Tangela. Unless we can get the paralysis check. No! The leaves do taste like a Yankee Candle, but I don't know. I think the actual pine cone might be worse. Bye, Tangela. I think we gotta put Vaporeon out there. Because I could do the double colorless energy and at least do quick attack. No, why did you have to show up now? I think I'm gonna whisk one of these Shelders. So I could do Gust of Wind and pull out a Shelder. You were given a make-your-own gin kit. Now, considering all the different gins, I'm considering using spruce tips or pine cones. Ooh. Well, see, I think if it was like a hint of pine in the drink, it would be fine, but I just think the pine cones are a bit much. That was close, actually, but we won. Give him a booster pack. Ooh, Nidoking. We could actually use that. Ooh, wait, that was energy retrieval. I was like, oh, energy removal. That's nice. Bree! Hoy! Eevee spotted indeed. We have some Eevees in our deck. I might remove the female Nidorans because we don't have their evolution line at all. I believe you have heard correctly, Beer Fox. I do believe there are some congratulations for Bree in order. I'm Gene, the master of the Rock Club. Rock is good. Is it rock good? Reverend Rock is hard and strong. Doesn't scramble under pressure. Well, actually, it does. So by definition. Anyway, after you duel me, you'll know I'm right. Come, I'll show you what I'm made of. Would you like to duel Gene? Yes. Unbubulations to whoever had special recent news. Thank you, Beer Fox. Take care, Beer Fox. Sorry, thank you, Brayherd. The other bee name. Ginger Pastille. That's gonna be interesting with the sour. But yes, I do believe Bree and Flame may have special news that is public knowledge, but I'll not spell it out. You don't get the Rackman unless you defeat me. You think Flame is neat? Orange and ginger are flavors that go together. Orange and artificial ginger, or artificial orange and real ginger are not flavors that go together. And sour and ginger, to this degree, this level is citric acid. My brain doesn't know which flavor to focus on, but it doesn't want to focus on either. An apple oatmeal bake, but it didn't have applesauce and used canned pumpkins. Now we see how that goes. Probably fine. Hey, Bacon, thank you for the lurk. I really should make a lurk command at some point. I was thinking, what if I used, the end of night prayer for the lurk command? May God grant you a restful night and a peaceful death. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of funny as an in-joke, but... I just clicked that Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres are 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, you can remove the energy from my Caterpie. That is an aggressive potion use. Okay, we just have to keep winning coin flips. No! Not like this, Chad. That would be pretty funny. I don't have a Dorino in play. It's going to be a very slow fight. I'm fine with losing my coin flips so long as he keeps losing his coin flips. Hey, Infinite Metal, was this an official game? Yes, it is. It actually came with a Pokemon card. And it even had a sequel in Japan. But I am playing this on NSO. Well, may as well play this Goldeen because then we can evolve it to Sea King. Yeah, it's on the Nintendo Online. It's on the Game Boy player. It's a really fun game, actually. I think it's a really good capture. It's like the first 3 sets, I think it goes up to Fossil. And it's actually got some cards which are unique to it. So if you ever look at a card in the game and it has the GB symbol as its expansion, that's one that only exists on the Game Boy. There's kind of another era. Another thing they do that's kind of funny is, let's say you have 4 Caterpies in your collection. If one of your decks has all 4 of those Caterpies, you cannot use them in another deck. They treat it like it's a physical collection. It's not like a modern game would be today, where it's like, oh, you have 4 of this, you can put all 4 copies in XYZ deck. Okay, we should be able to take down this Onyx. Ooh, Energy energy removal. That could actually be... I need one more water energy there. Okay, you can do Harden, I don't care. This can do Earthquake. I think I may remove the energy from the one that can do Earthquake. Yeah, there is the sequel that unfortunately was only released in Japan and never translated. A lot of fans are holding out hope that with NSO that Nintendo does translate it, but I don't think it's going to happen. So if I play Bulbasaur, Bulbasaur just instantly dies. Yeah, they definitely wouldn't do it. They might release it on NSO, because they have released a few Japanese games, like with the Super Nintendo. But it's Pokemon. I mean, come on. How hard can it be? The answer be complicated, actually. Hey, Xeno Legacy. We did get Star Fox 2, but I doubt we'll see stuff like that too often. Okay, I do have 2 grass energy there, so that... I'm gonna discard, I think, this revive. Put this on the Nidorino. We gotta be cringe and build Haymaker. We're gonna just gotta build what we have, I think. I don't know, I think Lickitung control's pretty funny. What does this need? Okay. So it's not attacking this turn, unfortunately. But we can make it a Nidoking and not worry. You're a fan of damage swap? That's a fun one. This is our first gym that we're facing. So we just got started. Get dunked on, Doug Trio! Well, that was short-lived. We might lose this fight. But that's okay, because we are so early on in this playthrough. And there's no downside to losing. Like, you know, it's not like in Pokemon where you lose some money. No, this one's just like, oh, you lost. You want to play again? Because it's a card game. I'm actually just going to pitch that DCE. You know, it was a card or something? I don't think so. I seem to recall it being pretty friendly. Yeah, there's no anti. Oh, man, anti. Anti in Magic the Gathering. Woo! Gonna put all this grass energy on Ivysaur in the wild dream that we draw our one and only Venusaur. Triple Triad having anti, yeah. You have no siblings, so you have no. There is no auntie. I have to, voice crack. I have to check my hand every turn because I just forget if I have like energy or something. I would hate to find out I did. Yeah, I remember playing FF9 and like trying the card game and then like losing all of my halfway decent cards at the beginning and going, yeah, that's cool. Oh, this is so rude. This is so rude. Kept trying to play Final Fantasy 14 just so you could get to the point and play Triple Triad. You can't gain cards by playing it? That seems wrong. I mean, I guess I'll use... Let's go! Nine has a mandatory tournament? Man, I did not get to that point. Oh, the tournament's easy and doesn't matter if you lose. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm just going to win. I like that there's the screen that says decision. Like, the game has to think about, okay, well, who won? According to the rules. Wonderful. Your persistence that can even break rock, has led you to defeat me. You are worthy of receiving this rock metal. That's a rupee. Well, isn't there a way in Final Fantasy VIII that you can play just the card game for most of the battles? And so you're only level 8 at the final boss? But because of the way the game works, it scales the boss to your level. Hey, look, another Articuno. That's pretty cool. Wild. Why don't we go to Ishihara's house? Talk to him. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Ishihara. I'm a Pokemon card collector. I love collecting cards. I see you also love Pokemon cards. Please come see me again. We must trade sometime. Oh, if you're playing with the cards, please read some of the books here. There aren't any cards I want or can trade at the moment. You have 10,000 cards. Surely you can part with one of them. Okay, where should we go next? Psychic, fire, science, grass, water, fighting, or lightning? Y'all are having your little chat there about Final Fantasy, and I approve of this. This is good. I think we're going to go to... Let's go to fighting next. I think we have a decent shot there. Oh, nope. Someone in chat actually said something. A psychic. But before we actually fight anyone there, we're going to take a quick commercial break. So we're going to take a few minutes, so get a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get a drink of water, do what you need to do, and we will be right back with more Pokemon TCG. We are back. I couldn't see all of chat, but I saw something in there about blue being the best colored Magic, and yes. You also want the legendary Pokemon cards? I want them too, but I'm still not good enough. Well, not with that attitude. Hi, I'm Robert. I'm a member of the Psychic Club. My ghost deck is really strong. It doesn't have any weaknesses. Uh-huh. And it's difficult for opponents' decks to cause damage. Would you like to duel me? Single match with 4 prizes. Let's make his Pokemon disappear. Wait, you little guys, you got to chubby cheek. I also love that every opponent has a name for their deck. Okay, what do we have? We have a Nidoran. We have a Nidoran. Let's go. Bill. Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'm gonna save this Pokeball for now. Never punished. Wow, your Ghost Dex has so many ghosts in it, like this Meow. I don't know if I'm stomping, but we're certainly playing. We actually did beat our first gym without losing, so good to see you, JM. I can't believe he's been allowed to draw cards. It's just so unfair. No! How could I lose? Gross. So rude. Oh yeah, Ghost type is Psychic in this game. No, I know. That's not what I want to do. Since I can't attack, I won't let him attack either. No, you're school now to play the TCG. I don't remember ever playing it at school. It was mostly with the neighborhood kids. Maybe cutting water energy was a bad idea. No, I could never be punished for my There will never be consequences for my actions. Hey, Mithril. Chat, I kid. There are lots of consequences for actions. That is period appropriate, weirdly enough. The French with 2 years sub. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, K-Max. Good to see you, K-Max. Thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, Raiders. I am Father Evan, playing here on Twitch 4 days a week, looking at the intersection of faith and gaming, and now jamming away some Pokemon TCG. This game, okay, but that's a pretty low bar. Most things are better than Sonic 06. I mean, yes, this game is great, but that is actually really nice at this time. We can evolve Bulbasaur into Ivysaur. Professor Oak. Hopefully get a water energy. Fail to be better at being a broken game. I think I failed at reading that sentence. That water was not falling. It was in fact rising. I know they were limited, but there's something about that Ghastly that just looks weird. No. And the Hexen. It doesn't actually... I'm like... I think I should apply the double colorless energy to something. Maybe the Nidoran? Because I have Professor Oak in hand. I don't think I need to use it this turn. Oh, I definitely want to use that double colorless energy before it goes away. Leech Life. It is objectively better in Pokemon TCG than it is in paper. Or, yeah, than it is in the game, I should say. Actually, Leech Life is good. Like in paper, in TCG, or in games. Because what I'm saying is in game, it restores you for half the damage that you have done, whereas this is equal. Alright, attached to our error energy this turn, but that's nice. Because we can give that to Seal, what do we have? I don't know. We got Pokemon cards. Ditto. Dugong, that's what I'm thinking. This song's like just the right length of being repetitive without being obnoxious. Okay, so now if our Sea King falls, we have our Venusaur all leveled up and powered up. Although our Sea King seems to be doing just fine. Get some whiplash swap between this and current gen rules, I imagine. I know very little about modern gen rules, but I have watched some gameplay and it's kind of wild. I'm just gonna retreat here because I have one prize left, and one Solar Beam from Venusaur will defeat Ditto. Decision. Ah, yes! Fremen won! It's not super different, but they need changes to attack first turn or use supporter. Yeah, you can only use one supporter turn, I know is the big change. My ghost deck loose! Well, you didn't put any ghosts up against me. Gengar. And Haunter, that's pretty nice to have both. Ooh, Energy Search. I actually want to add that to my deck right away. I think I'll take an Energy Search over Energy Retrieval. Legendary Pokemon cards are the ultimate cards. Everyone wants to inherit the legendary cards. That's why we play against so many different people. I just lost a duel, so I can't play right now. Why? Did they eat your deck? It's just like, ah. I dropped all my cards, so I'm putting them in order here. That's mana weaving, excuse me. Also, you can tell if you'll duel someone because they have a name. I don't like people who think too highly of themselves. That's why I don't like the members of the Psychic Club. I wish I could knock them off their high horses. Would you like to try to defeat Murray, the Psychic Club Master? If you defeat Murray, I'll give you something really valuable. Grant the ultimate wish? Sure. Good, I'll be waiting here for you. Are you gonna go do the thing you were gonna do? Great, here's a prize for you. I can see the future. You cannot defeat me. But if you win 2 medals, maybe then I would duel you. Well, fine. What do you think Murray's doing over there in the corner? He's thinking about how to duel using his Mew cards. New cards or Mew cards? Might be both. We strive to better ourselves here at the Psychic Club. I see you've won a medal. Then I will duel with you. Would you like to duel, Daniel? Not really, he's creeping me out. Let's play with 4 prizes. Okay, here we go. New Mew cards. Gee, do I pick Krabby, 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 or Krabby as my basic Pokemon? Oh, we are so gonna lose this match. You can't make a crab go to sleep unless apparently they're the blue crabs that have been in the mountain asleep. Crabby used Patty. Wait. Execute? That's a good card. You can make an egg stack. No, my crab has to go honk shoe. Never mind. It's kind of wild that if you fall asleep, you can wake up on the start of your turn. It's like a weird imbalance. Are you talking Gen 1 Pokemon or Gen 1 Pokemon TCG? Because this basically is Gen 1 Pokemon TCG. It's up through Fossil, which is like the 3rd set. Oh, you wake up, can't attack you. Yes. Look, it's like turn 7 and we can do something. And a little honk shoe again. All right, I'm asleep. Yeah, I like, there's a deck with it, execute, and maybe executor as well. Yeah, it's got executor, where it's like, based on the amount of energy you flip that many coins, you do 20 damage for each heads, I think, or something like that. So you just like load up tons of like double colorless energy and like moving energy around with things like Venusaur. It's very funny. Yeah, I'm awake again. They're just gonna put me to sleep again. No, they're gonna do Leech Seed. This is not a race we're gonna win. Although I wonder, what do they have? They have an Execute, Paris, and Jigglypuff. Seedlip? No, sadly not Seedlip. Leech Seed. Similar, but different. No, good job, Krabby. You did something, I think. Well, this battle's probably going to take a while. Does anyone have any questions of faith? Something to we want to chat about while we're playing? Oh, that's just rude. Not Jigglypuff. No! No! Don't put me back to sleep. This is so unfair. Can't believe a video game would cheat like this. When does the church decide to do a feast or memorial over the regular mass? Ah, so there is the scale of, we'll say regular. Scale's not quite the right word, but regular mass, optional memorial, memorial, feast, solemnity. If it is a feast or solemnity You have a much heavier question. Well, those are also good. Um, basically, the higher it up it is, the harder it is to do something else, if that makes sense. And so the church decides, as sort of the best way I can describe it and understand it, is that the church prescribes it sort of like, I don't want to say to the importance of, but like, importance can be an important part of it, because if if it's a regional thing, like, there are saints in America that are considered kind of more important to our cultural and spiritual life than to, Australia. But there are some saints, like St. Paul, which are considered universal. And Sundays are always a solemnity by their very definition, so they automatically outrank anything that falls on them, unless it is itself a solemnity in ordinary time or is patronal. So yeah, it's kind of a whole complicated system of things, but I hope that helped make some sense of it. Kind of like which card has more power? A little bit. Which one has a greater rarity? Mythic 2026, yeah. So, and then like what you can choose from the Ordo, so there's a little book called the Ordo that helps priests and sacristans and people who help operate churches know what to celebrate, and it sort of lays out like, look, on this day, so like today is a memorial, so it is expected that you celebrate that mass, but for various reasons, like you could have a funeral, and it's like, okay, well, you can do that, whereas on like certain other days, it's like, well, only if you really have to. And yeah, so most churches will have done the third Sunday of Ordinary Time, but so the conversion of St. Paul the Apostle is a solemnity, or not a solemnity, a feast. So it is of good importance, but gets outranked by Sunday being an automatic solemnity. However, because it is the patronal church of the parish here, the Church of St. Paul the Apostle, and of the religious community, the Paulist Fathers, who runs it, it automatically gets upgraded to solemnity status, and thus we can celebrate it on a Sunday. Your card's better than my card. My card's invisible. Yes, Christmas and Easter are solemnities that outrank everything, especially Easter. Easter's kind of the solemnity par excellence. My Pokemon is every type, not weak to anything. What gives you the right to say that? I'm 12? Oh, okay. Yes, we woke up on our turn. This is huge. Okay, if we can win this coin flip. We won the coin flip! Use 8. I mean, yeah, but have you not heard the everyone's 12 theory? K-Max, if I didn't know about modern Pokemon, I would swear you were just making up words in chat. Do the wave! Other EV. So I have no energy on anything else. Ow. Yeah, we're gonna lose this because we're gonna get knocked out here. Hey, this Wiggly buff. We lost our first match, chat. This will destroy our elo. Still not good enough to defeat me. I'll do you anytime you want. Anyway. Even able to champ this whole time. Do I run into parishioners who struggle to forgive themselves of sin and fault after confession receiving absolutes? Yeah, no, that's the thing. That is a thing we sort of, I don't want to say study, but for lack of a better word, discuss in our seminary formation. And yeah, it is tough, and it's getting someone to forgive themselves can sometimes be the hardest part of absolution. If they're struggling from it from like a scrupulous angle, it's a little, I don't want to say easier, but like you can be like, look, you can rest assured that through the sacrament, God forgives all of your sin. You know, and so if you find yourself rethinking about something, feeling guilty again, you can return to that. But if it's struggling to forgive yourself, what I typically do is in the confessional, and sometimes in the confessional you only have so much time. You know, there's a line. You cannot solve all of life's problems in a single confession. Um, it is a good and important thing. I'm not saying it isn't, but I would say, I say to people, reflect on the way that God sees you and loves you and forgives you and is inviting you to share in that vision, share in that way that God looks upon you with this kind of love, that God is inviting you to look upon yourself in that same way, and that the light of God will lead you in that path. So it's not something you have to come up with on your own. It's rooting yourself. So it's enabling people to sort of somewhat externalize themselves a little bit in forgiving themselves. And it's, what are the roadblocks? Like, why, if I had a little more time to maybe process with someone, could ask questions like, why do you not want to forgive yourself? Why do you think you can't forgive yourself? And maybe they don't have answers right then and there to those questions, and that's totally okay. But to give them kind of homework, for lack of a better word, that it's like, take this home, meditate upon it. What is sort of the meta reason why you can't forgive yourself? And to know ultimately of God's mercy, and that it's going to take time to figure out. I often use a line for all sorts of things in confession, that we wish confession was a light switch. You come in, click, gone, done, never again. And it's like, well, sometimes we are so blessed. But sometimes it is also a process, and we know that in our journey we will stumble, we will be struggling to figure it out, whatever it is. But that doesn't mean that the confession was bad. And it doesn't mean that we shouldn't return to confession, quite the opposite. Confession is there to help us sort of straighten these things out in our hearts and our souls and our minds, and grow closer to God. So, it may not be a light switch. It's more like a dimmer switch. And a little bit of each twist is each confession, and even time in between confessions can be part of that process, and should be. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Mel? Does that help? That's a hard one to sort of... More of a dimmer switch with faulty GFI. Well, hopefully not with a faulty GFI. We don't want you going up in flames. But that is a great question. And one, that I would say as a priest I do encounter. And, if I had to hazard a guess, I bet Father Duke and Father Pizza probably also encounter... Or Father Duke and Father Pizza, that's the same person. Father Trekkie. No, it's a great question, and that's, heavy questions, sure, they are heavy, but, just because it's heavy, and we're playing a silly Pokemon game, doesn't mean we shouldn't ask them. That's kind of the great thing, I think, about this space, is sometimes it's a place where we can gather and hang out and be like, haha, funny voices Pokemon game, and also, hey... we talk about this? So thank you for bringing that. Thank you for your vulnerability in sharing that. With that said, I am going to go to the fighting gym now.
Best players among the Grandmasters and Rod, since he's the leader of the Grandmasters.
Specs.
I was just saying, which Grandmaster is the best? I think Steve is the best player.
I see you play Pokemon trading card game. I'm not into dueling. I prefer collecting the cards. By the way, would you happen to have a Graveler? You do. I was wondering if I might give it to me. How about it? I think I have a Graveler. But you don't have a Graveler. I appreciate your generosity, but you can't give me what you don't have. Come see me after you get the Graveler. If you ever get time, it's something you want to write and submit to Voice the Back Cue, that would be awesome. That would be beautiful. Please do.
If I were just a few years younger, I'd be dueling with kids too.
Oh, Did his face change? No, his face is always like that. Okay.
I'm Mitch, master of the Fighting Club. You have to warn you that you will be unable to defeat me. You wish to duel with me. You must defeat my pupils first. My pupils are training at other clubs. Let's see if you can defeat all 3 of my pupils.
Anyone hanging out in like a fighting gi in here? I love the aesthetics they went with here in the gyms. Like, they have a lot of character. Well, I guess we'll do the water gym now. All Amy, the master of this club, does lately is sleep. She's bored because she doesn't have anybody to duel. You don't use fire Pokemon cards here at the water club. I was rare Arcanine, but I prefer Lapras. If you own a Lapras, would you mind trading with me for my Arcanine? I don't have one to give you, and Lapras is a really good card. Sir, the commander of the water club are twins. No wonder they look so much alike. Yeah, no wonder. Do you know Imakuni? He's a suspicious-looking guy, dressed in all black. You'll find him dancing away in the lounge at one of the clubs. He stands out, so it shouldn't be too hard to identify him. But maybe you shouldn't go near him. Nah, Imakuni's great. Oh, went to the gift center. No, I don't have anyone to trade with. I think there is a way you can do this online. Nope. Oh yeah, I should read my mail. It's me, Dr. Mason. You're getting hang of the Pokemon trading card game? I have some information for you about booster packs. If you want to collect the same cards, duel the same person many times to get a particular booster pack. By doing so, you'll be able to collect the same cards, make it easier for you to build your deck. Another method of collecting cards is to use Card Pop. When you and a friend use Card Pop, you'll each receive a new card. Once you pop with a certain friend, you won't be able to pop with that friend again. So find many friends who own the Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy and Card Pop with them to get new cards. Oh, here's something for you. You found a deep supply of channel points through compromise. Is it from your husband? I'll be sending you useful information by email. How did you send me a booster pack by email? It's me, Dr. Mason. I have some information about Gene's deck. He is the master of the Rock Club. Well, don't worry about it. We beat him already. No, I don't care. No, thank you for the booster pack. Actually, another Ivysaur is nice. And another Bulbasaur. Compromise. It's me, Dr. Mason. I have some information for you about Mish's deck. He's the master of the fighting club. His first strike deck is built for a quick attack, but it's weak against psychic Pokemon. I suggest you duel him using the deck from the Psychic Metal deck machine. His burst pack. What does Jamble do? Oh yeah. Jamble's not bad, actually. Yeah, wouldn't be getting booster packs via email be so convenient? Actually, that'd be dangerous. I'd probably buy so many, words. Magic boosters. I'm sad at how expensive old booster packs got, because when I got back into the game, old boosters were not crazy expensive. Well, at least I have water energy. Yeah. Never punished. Meep Mass 8 purple. You say that, K-Max, but they actually really haven't. I mean, they could have done that pretty easily with Arena. A father joke and a candy spin. My goodness, I will have no appetite for dinner after this. Well, this will be a good one for you, Kevin. Guards! Did you hear about the guy who got fired from the keyboard factory? He wasn't putting in enough shifts. Both. If your coworker Andres, his wife, and their sons, they're trying to drive home yesterday and ended up in a ditch. Family is safe. That's good. Not sure where their car is. This happened. Oh, ooh. I'm glad that they are safe though. But prayers for Andres and his family. Yeah, gracious God, we ask that you just watch over in this time Andres and his family, to be with them, grant them safety, healing, peace of mind, to grant them the ability to quickly heal from this, to get a new car, do what they need to do, able to return to work, so that they can simply live and move and have their being. Know always of the love, joy, and support of your people, those who are with them in this time. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. We pray, amen. Texans do not belong on ice. This is true. Wonderful CYO coach. He's a fair. That's good. Musical Texas on Ice. Father Evan defeat Amanda. I think the game is in my favor. He does sound like a good person. Grab a water energy for Articuno.
Do the wave.
Seal, you're not gonna survive this next turn, but you have done your job valiantly. Of course, the best way to actually win this game is to tailor a deck for each. Pokemon that you have. Yes! You know, I think the Clove is the mildest of all of these. I think the Cardamom's the most potent. Definitely with, Licorice is a close second.
You're only delaying the inevitable, Amanda.
Come on, heads. Yes! What are the permanent candies on the wheel? The Barnett Mega Sours. The Pine Cones, regrettably. I would actually say the Bacon Candy is tolerable enough, but bad enough to stay on there permanently. With the stock of candy corn I recently received, that's probably going to be lasting for a while. I think musk sticks might also become a normal thing on there. Because those are certainly a flavor of all time. May as well give that Eevee the energy, because then if nothing else, it can do quick attack. Oh, your cat's helping you crochet! Well, that's helpful. Oak! That's actually really, really good, because my hand's kind of... I feel like energy removal. Oh, I'm so good at this game. What do you mean Blizzard has consequences? Doesn't matter, we win. Blizzard should damage all. That sounds dangerous to let players do. I won. Oops, I lost. Now I'm in trouble. Wait, what? Why are you in trouble? Are you never expected to lose when you're at a gym? Like, ooh, another Articuno. What does Mr. Fuji do? Choose a Pokemon on your bench, shuffle it in, and any cards attached to it into your deck. Okay, so that's a way, like if you have a Pokemon with a ton of damage on it, you can shuffle it away so it's not in the graveyard, so you can get it back. I might put Meowth in my deck. Okay, you take care, Bear Fox. Okay, we've gotten a few things. Let's mess around with the deck. Let's go up to 3 Bulbasaurs, 2 Ivysaurs. I don't know why those were lower. It shouldn't have been. I feel like I could remove... Honestly, Tangle is not great. Caterpies aren't very useful. I wish I had more seals. That would actually be really helpful. Oh, when did I get a third Articuno? I don't remember that. Articuno's pretty energy intensive, so I don't really want a ton of them in the deck. Yeah, look, see here, GB. This is a Game Boy exclusive. This thing only exists on the Game Boy. Anyway, I'm thinking I'll put 3 of these Meowths in, because they draw cards. And they only need colorless energy. Honestly, I think I'll remove the EV Vaporeon package. In favor of, honestly, putting another water energy back in. How much do those go for? Electrons on the dollar. I don't really like Revive. I don't use it, so... Let's Recycle. Recycle's actually pretty useful. I'll use it to recycle over a full heal. It feels so good to swim in the pool. Do you want to take a swim? Or would you rather duel? Why am I not given the option to just go for a swim? Yes, I may choose up to 5 basic Pokemon. Would be nice to have any. Why, that's Pot of Greed. That lets her draw 2 cards. I don't think Energy Search lets you get double colorless energy, but I can try. Yeah, it's not a basic. That's what I thought, but that's okay. Alright, it's all up to these coin flips now. Come on, dig us. Yes! Come on, solutions. That's not a solution. Hi, Cayman. Okay, gust of, hey, gust of wind and gust of wind. Just like we drew it up, chat. Man, thank goodness Pokemon does not have a maximum hand size in this game. It may now, but it didn't back then. Yes! Okay, finally, another basic. I can feel a little safer now. Yeah, I'm going to actually, since I have two of these, I'm going to gust out their other Poliwag because it has no energy on it. So this will make them use an energy. You just need the one energy. And back. Well, they haven't missed much. This fight is going very slowly because it's basically just, my Meowth drawing me cards. I did just get a Jamble, but I'm not going to Jamble right away. Because what I'm going to do is I'll attack. They'll put out the Psyduck, and I'll swap out. I'll use the Gust of Wind to bring the other Poliwag back. It's a 5-head play. Yeah, Meowth can serve until Genghis is online, or if I get Venusaur, online, but well, 07 Meow. You drew me some amount of cards. Maybe I should have gone with, yeah, I should have gone with IV, or Bulbasaur there, because guaranteed damage. That was a misplay and a half. You have XY evolution cards apparently worth something now. Ooh, well, there you go. If you're not attached to them, it's basically free money. And now it's too late to do that, so that's unfortunate. I think I'm gonna Jambler here. Punished. Ah. No! This got substantially worse, chat. Also, how does Hyper Beam only do 20 damage? DCE. Recycle. Problem is, this removes... It removes an energy. That's really unfortunate. I think I might have been... Oh, no, I have a chance out of this, chat. I do not have a chance out of this, chat. Because my chance was if I could bring back... Because the problem is I'm basically stuck in a loop now. Like, even if I get DCE, I can't do Comet Punch because I'd be one shy, and I will always be one shy because of Hyper Beam. And my only chance was to get Gust of Wind to swap them, and... Oh, I had this match. I threw completely when I played Nidoran instead of Bulbasaur. Because I completely forgot that Nidorann's attack required a coin flip. And there's no concede button. That is a flaw of this game. Really? You're gonna do Psyshock? That feels like bad move feels. There's a way to concede, or a glitch where you win every time. With all due respect, those are not exactly the same thing. Do you want to join the water club? No, I want a rematch. I feel like I... Oh, man. I threw... Watch as this game goes completely differently. I think I kind of want to put Kangaskhan out. If I'm with a basic. Yes. Can't evolve turn 1. Okay, guess to win, but don't waste it this time. What? How would this slap do 20 damage with no downside? That's... Card's busted. I need it banned. I'm just gonna go big or go home. No, I didn't get what we need. Let's Professor Oak again. No, I didn't get to draw 21 in a single turn. I want that Professor Oak back. It's okay, we haven't seen our potions either, so like that we've got that going for us. Why are you applying so much energy to star you? Comet Punch! Well, it's okay. We got 2 heads. That's all we need. she had no other active Pokemon. Uh-oh, I guess I lost. Maybe I shouldn't have been swimming so much. Gyarados. Bill! That's a good card. Ooh, another Kangaskhan. That's actually pretty good. I guess I have to practice more to improve my Pokemon card game. Feels so good to swim. No, Airy Duel. I just misclicked. No, then maybe I'll go for a dip. No, you'll probably just stay there forever. Oh, right, this game auto-saves. I was like, how do I save? We did defeat Amanda! We did indeed. It went well. We lost to the next person, but that doesn't count. But that's where we're going to call it for the day. Just a few minutes early, but it's all good. I figure the gym battle might take a while because you also have to beat the person in front of her. So, yeah, we'll pick up there next time. So thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Join us again tomorrow as we continue Green Ember, Helmer in the Dragon's Tomb, Wednesday, Midweek Minecraft. Fellow on the server has challenged me to a duel, so that's going to go poorly. And then working on the library and other things, because we have to do a floor. I realized we never actually made a floor for the library. It's still grass in there. And Thursday, Yoda Stories. Oh, I'm excited to play Yoda Stories with y'all. That game is awful. But man, is it nostalgic. But yeah, so I think that's everything. So thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you for checking out the YouTube and the Discord. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And let's see who's live that we can raid into. I'm going to throw you on over to Junie. She is playing Sunhaven, which looks like a magical Stardew Valley. Anyway, Raid Collie's father raid. Go give Junie some love. She's playing with Okamira, another V Angeli person. So yeah. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. God bless.